Right, hello, my dears. Let's get into this reading vlog. I'm going to be reading A Court of Mist and Fury. If you were seen, a couple weeks ago I posted a reading vlog for A Court of Thorns and Roses, and now I'm getting ready to dive into this one. I enjoyed the first one quite a bit. I've heard this one's a lot better. I keep thinking to myself, like, am I going to continue the series after this? I don't know. You're going to have to stick around and see. If it, I don't know, there's just something in me that's like, you're not going to continue reading this book or this series after this book, but you know what, maybe I am. I don't know, we'll see. I just feel like I have so many books on my TBR, and it feels like committing to the rest of the series, it gives me a bit of anxiety, but you know what, we're gonna see how this goes. How's it gonna go? Keep watching. So this is crazy. It's February 1st here in Alberta, but it feels more like April 1st. All the snow's melting. It's like almost 10 degrees Celsius, so warm. Especially compared to this clip from like 5 days ago. There's not any wind, and it's just snowing so nicely, like in a snow globe. So soft and fluffy. Alright, so I thought I'd pop in this evening and let you know how the book's going. I'm 2 chapters in, or 3 chapters in. So far not too much. We found out she's engaged to Tamlin. She's planning her wedding, which she hates doing. She wants to, like, go help people who got sort of put out after the big battle with Amarantha. And he's like, no, not today. Not today. And she's getting real fed up with him. I will say, in the second chapter, there was, like a sex scene, and within the span of 2 paragraphs, the words, what was the first? Snarl, growl, and hiss appear. And I just kept being like, what do you mean hissed? Because it's not like he hissed a word. The period, like period, he hissed, period. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so it's morning now. I just got some coffee, got a candle going, and just started chapter, I think, 5. Rhysand just showed up and interrupted her wedding, and he's just taken her to the night court. Okay, so I just got out of the shower. I'm getting ready now to head out and run some errands, but I forgot to mention earlier in the vlog, there's like some clips of being on the road and in the city, because I went to the city earlier this week. And we picked up my daughter and we went for lunch, and we went to a record store in downtown Edmonton called Listen Records. It's the coolest record store I've ever been inside of. It's so tiny. The guy working there was really nice. Anyway, I got 2 records, so let me show you. First, I picked up a copy of 1989 Taylor's version. And then also got this from Boy Genius. They're my current favorite. This is their EP, The Rest, that came out a few months ago. And for the Taylor Swift, it's this beautiful tangerine color. So sweet. I love it. Okay, so I just finished part 1. Yeah. My dog is sneezing. Okay, so as I said, I just finished part 1. Feyre has been back and forth between the night court a couple of times, and things are getting really weird in the spring court with Tamlin. Like, he's got her locked up. And I get that it's because he's worried about her safety, but it's gone too far. It's literally killing her. So some of the things that have been happening when she's been spending time in the night court is that Rhysand has decided he's going to teach her how to read. Because if you remember from the last vlog, she's illiterate. And so he's teaching her that, and he's teaching her how to help guard her mind from people like him who can sort of reach in and she was in there. So that's coming along well. But yeah, like I said, things at the spring court going poorly, and he's just sent his cousin in after like a really bad day, because he can't go in and get her himself, so he sent his cousin in, and then she took her back to the night court, and so she's kind of decided she's going to be staying there until she can figure everything out. And what else? Oh yeah, she's also trying to figure out what sort of power she has, because at the end of the last book, when she died, essentially, and then all 7 of the High Lords used their magic to bring her back, sort of as a thank you for everything she did, she's starting to see that she's inherited some of their gifts. Or not inherited, but it was like transferred to her. Anyway, so she's trying to figure that out. There's a war coming. It's a whole thing. So we're going to head on in now to part 2. Alright, so I'm on chapter 18 now. Like I was saying, Feyre has gone to the night court where she's staying with Rhys at his place. She just met his like chosen family, Cassian, Azriel, I can't remember the girl's name. But Amren? No. Hang on. Okay, yeah. Amren. So, yeah, so far so good. She's decided that she's going to stay in the night court and work with Rhys. And whatever that entails, we're just kind of getting into it. We've got a lot of backstory about him and the people that he knows. So, alright, so it is Sunday night now. We did literally nothing this weekend. We just stayed at home, stayed cozied up. We had a big storm today, so there wasn't much to film this weekend. I didn't even read much. We just kind of existed. It was much needed. Tonight we watched the Grammys. I haven't watched the Grammys in years. Basically, ever since we got cable cut, we didn't watch it. But then I found out you can watch it live on Amazon Prime. They've got like live options. I had no idea. So we watched that. Joni Mitchell performed. I love Joni Mitchell so much. She's a Canadian icon. So it was amazing to get to see her. She's like 80 years old now. She's had so many medical struggles over the years. And her voice is so spectacular. And her songwriting, just amazing. Anyway, so that was fun. And now I'm going to read for a bit, I think, before I go to bed. Oh, I just remembered, too, I wanted to share some exciting news with you guys. On Friday, I found out that my sister got us Hosier tickets to go see Hosier in Saskatoon, of all places, which is in Saskatchewan, for people who aren't from Canada, in August. I'm so excited. I love him so much. And, yeah, I've actually never been to Saskatoon. I've probably driven through it because we've driven across the country a few times, but we're going to be spending the night and exploring the city, and it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. All right, so it is now Tuesday morning, and I just came to drop Ed off at his doctor's appointment, so I'm just waiting outside in the car, and I brought the book with me because we need to do this. We need to read some more of this book. I'm on page, I think, like 230, and it's really taken me a long time to get through this. I just can't get into it. I'm not enjoying it. I never want to pick it up. So we're parked today across from Wallace Park. It's a frosty looking day out. And we've got the book. So let's see how much we can get read. Okay, so I'm on like chapter 44. They're getting ready for the Starfall Ball. It's all very beautiful sounding. Anyway, so Feyre's wearing this dress. It's very gorgeous, made of tiny light blue stones. And as she's walking up to the rooftop garden, she describes the beads as they clink around her as she walks as hissing. Wild hissing. Beads do not hiss when they clink. Right, Ed? That's not the sound beads make. Anyway, but yes, I'm enjoying it, and things have really picked up since we last spoke, you and I. But I don't get all the hissing. And another thing that gets me is she's constantly talking about making a vulgar gesture. And like, she made like one of the vulgar gestures. She made one of the vulgar gestures. What are all these vulgar gestures? I can only think of, well, the main one. After that, I don't know. Anyway, let's see how the ball goes. Okay, hi there, guys. Let's finish this vlog up. Now listen to me. When I tell you today was a reading marathon, I mean a capital M marathon. I finished this book today. I read the final 400 pages of this book today because I was like, girl, you need to stop dragging this on and just finish it up. So I liked it. I did. I liked it. I like the characters a lot. Like Rhysand and Feyre and Cassian and Azriel, Mor and Amran. I love them all. How the story kind of ends is, as I was telling you earlier, they're preparing for war. And so they have to get these two parts of this book and the cauldron. It's this whole thing. I won't get into it because it's very long. We would be here all night. But so they get the first part, and then they need to, so because this book, it's so powerful. So it's like, when the treaty was signed between the fairy realm and the human realm, it was broken in two, and the fairies have one half of it and the humans have the other half of it. That way, like, no one has all of it. So they get the side from the fairy realm, which is a whole thing. Then they're like, okay, we need to get it from the humans. So these 6 humans that are called like the high queens of the mortal realm or whatever, they have the second part. So a meeting is set up, and Rhysand and Feyre are like, we are gonna need that because war's coming. It's for your protection, it's for our protection, it's for everybody's protection. And the queens are like, nope, you can't have it. And so they want proof that, because Rhysand tells them this whole story about 2 people who are now hidden away, living a happy life, where humans and fairies are commingling. And the queens are like, we need proof of this. This sounds fake. So he's like, okay, I'll bring you proof. And so as he goes to do that, Feyre knows in her heart that he's going to show them Valeris, which is where the Night Court is, where he lives. This territory that he has managed to keep hidden for 5,000 years. And she's like, you can't do it. He's like, listen, obviously I'm not going to bring them here, but I'm going to like put it in an orb so they can see it with their eyes without actually bringing them there. So they decide to make a second meeting. They go back to it. You guys, these humans, just the worst. So he shows them and they're like, no, it's still not good enough. They leave. When they leave, they see that one of the human queens, hidden under her skirts when she was standing there, was their half of the book. She walks away. She's the last to leave. They see the book. They find it. There's a note in there, and it's like, listen, do what you gotta do. Good luck. Protect us all. So I guess. So what happens shortly after that, they go back to Valeris. And the really sad thing is, so finally Feyre and Rhysand are getting together. All of the flirting, all of it is finally paying off. They're getting together. It's beautiful. It's magical. It's lovely. And then shortly after that, there's a, what would the word be? Like a breaching of the boundaries of hidden Valeris. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Anyway, all of a sudden, all these creatures are coming in, trying to kill them. They slaughter everybody that came in. And then they realize that in showing the High Queens of the mortal realm or whatever, what they showed them, they twisted it and betrayed them. And it was because of them that their kingdom got infiltrated. So then there's this, oh my God, it's so much. It's like, what do you mean? So anyway, they get out of there. They're going to like the High King of Highburn or whatever. And they get there. The boys are all very badly hurt. Like Rhysand, Cassian, Azriel. Cassian and Azriel in particular. And so they're there. And then all of a sudden, friggin' Tamlin and Lucian are there. And they learn, well, first of all, because Tamlin wants her back, right? even though she was dying in his house, in his care. But he doesn't care. He wants her back. So Tamlin thinks that like he's made a deal with the High King, and the king's gonna break Feyre and Rhysand's bond so he can take Feyre home. But Ianne's like the high priestess of the Spring Court. She's sold them out. And now all of a sudden, Feyre's freaking sisters are there, Elaine and Nesta. And so what the High King is trying to do is he wants to prove to the High Queens who are there now, these ladies want to get turned into fairies so they'll have immortality. And this cauldron can do that. But they're not just going to trust it. So the High King brings Feyre's sisters in, and they're like, don't worry, we're going to put these two in first so you can see that it works. And Feyre's like, no, no, because her sisters are screaming and crying. They don't want to be turned into fairies. But too late, they do. And it's chaos. It's chaos, you guys. So what we learned before we ended up here was that Rhysand and Feyre are mates, which is a thing in the fairy realms. It's like you can have someone as your wife, great, cool, fun. But when you form a mate bond with someone, it's like something that's you can't plan for, you can't hope for. It just happens. And Rhysand finds out that Feyre is his mate. He kind of knew it when he first met her, but he didn't say anything because she hated him. But then they have this night together where he tells her about how he has been dreaming of her his whole life, basically. He fashioned his kingdom after her paintings that he could see in his dreams, which, if you'll remember from the last ACOTAR vlog, what I thought of those paintings. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So they're mates. So then when her sisters returned, and this is none of this. If you've made it this far, hopefully you've read this book, or else I'm just talking gibberish to you. But so when her sisters returned, Lucian, like Tamlin's first in command, he's like, he sees Elaine, one of her sisters, and he's like, that's my mate. He feels it instantly. So what Tamlin wants to do, I'm like getting right up in your face. What Tamlin wants to do is have the High King break the bond between Rhysand and Feyre, not the mating bond because Tamlin doesn't know about that, but the 1 week a month bargain that he had made with her under the mountain. The King's like, you got it. So Feyre's like, okay, she's still communicating with Rhysand, telling him, take your family, take my sisters, and go. You go, I'll go with Tamlin. We'll figure this shit out later. Rhysand's screaming, no, no, but eventually he does because he has no other choice. He has to get his brothers home because they're literally bleeding to death, you know. So they go, and Feyre goes back with Tamlin to the Spring Court. And what we find out later, because we get the second to last chapter is from Rhysand's point of view. So we get to learn that the night before the battle, Rhysand and Feyre went and found a priestess and like made their mate bond, like cemented it. I can't remember what that's called. But anyway, he made her like the high lady of the Night Court, which is like higher up than a wife, higher up than a consort. Like it's the tippy top of the tippy top of the potential partnerships. So now she is his equal in every way. And then so that's kind of where it ends. Like the very final chapter is short, and it's from Feyre's point of view, and she's walking into the Spring Court Castle with Tamlin, who she hates so much. And she's like, we go inside. Little does he know, he's walking the High Lady of the Night Court into his house. Her mate bond is still intact with Rhysand, and a war's still coming. So it leaves on the cliffhanger like that. So let me tell you, like I said earlier, I really did love all these characters, and I'm sure in time I will read the third book. But I'm going to take a break for now, only because fantasy's just not my thing. And I knew that going into this, but I had heard so much talk about ACOTAR, and especially this book. People were like, ACOTAR's good, but this one's even better. And I just my curiosity got the better of me. So I feel like it's sort of been satiated now for a while. And because like I said, not entirely my thing, even though I can appreciate it's a good book. And in fact, I went to look on Goodreads and it's got like a 4.65 out of 5 based on almost like 1.5 million ratings. So like, people love this. Clearly, if you're into fantasy, this is a good one. So it not being my thing is no knock on the book or the author or the story. I love the characters. I've heard that it's being made into a TV show, and I can't wait to watch that. I think fantasy translates better for me on screen. But I'm glad I read them, and yeah, I'm sure I'll read the third one in time. And I think after that it's a Christmas novella, so maybe throughout 2024 I'll read the third one at some point, and then for Vlogmas next year we'll read that Christmas holiday novella. How about that? Next up, I think, is going to be a spoiler-free review of one of my NetGalley arcs, and then after that we are doing it. We're doing it. We're going to read the third and final Tiffany McDaniel book that I have not read yet, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. So let me know in the comments down below if you have read ACOMAF, I guess it would be called, and what you thought of it. Let me know your opinion. Like, should I keep going in the series? I probably will, just slowly. I'm not in any rush to read the next one. Which, you know, it's a long series, so that's kind of how it goes, right? Like, you get one, and then you wait a while, and then you get the next one. So I've had my fill for now. So, but if you've read the ACOTAR series so far, because I know there's still more books to be coming out in the future, let me know which one was your favorite, and who's your favorite character. I love Rhysand. I love him so much. So let me know. And I think this is going to do it for me for now. I'm going to go and post this video right away because this book took me way too long to read, and I haven't posted a single video in like a week as I tried to get through this one. So it's time to move on. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.